Hello everyone, I am Tathagata Banerjee and today we shall discuss about the later Mughals. The modern history of India is my personal favorite. The decline of the Mughal Empire is one of them. The decline of the Mughal Empire, the death of the last significant Mughal emperor Aurangzeb, marked the end of the medieval period of history in India. This also had marked the beginning of the advent of the foreign rulers who had come to India for trading, namely the Dutch, French and the British. Out of these foreign trio, it was the British who could establish their control over India and rule this subcontinent for over 190 years. The regional powers had also gained considerable amount of influence over their regions and had conquered a significant amount of area. Some, namely the Marathas, had almost reached Delhi and conquered it for a limited period of time. After almost 3 centuries of Mughal rule and the rule of the Sultans, Delhi was ruled by the Marathas. Other significant regional powers included Sikhs, Rajputs and the Nizams. Finally, it was the revolt of 1857 that sealed the fate of the Mughal Empire, and the glorious empire had come to an end after the huge empire was confined to only Delhi and then into nothingness. Causes for the decline of the Mughal Empire. Policies of Aurangzeb. India is an extensive and extremely diverse country. Therefore, to rule such a country, religious tolerance is quite essential state of mind. But Aurangzeb, being an intolerant emperor, did not care about the people of other religions and sects other than his own and alienated the non-Muslim sections of the country. He also reimposed the jizya tax or the pilgrimage tax charged to non-Muslims, which was taken aback by Akbar. Aurangzeb spent the last 25 years of his life to subdue and subjugate the Marathas in the Deccan. This had to put a huge strain on the royal exchequer and drained the treasury, while his absence from the capital in the north resulted it to become a center of revolt, and the nobles' power grew and the administrative system became corrupt. Weak successors of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb's successors were weak and incompetent, pleasure-loving, and could not manage and administrate such a huge state like the Mughal Empire. As a result, the nobles became more powerful and declared themselves as independent, and became ambitious and started to manipulate the Mughal rulers. Therefore, the distant governor took advantage of the weak administration in the central authority and became independent and started ruling their jagirs or regions independently. The successors of Aurangzeb came to be known as the later Mughals. Some important later Mughals. Bahadur Shah first, Jahandar Shah, Farrukh Shiar, Muhammad Shah, Ahmad Shah Bahadur, Alamgir II, Shah Alam, Akbar II, Bahadur Shah Zafar. Wars of succession. The Mughals did not have clear rules for succession. After the death of the Mughal emperor, his relatives claimed their right to the throne. This resulted in wars of successions between the claimants. As the result of the war expenditure, it drained the royal exchequer and weakened the empire. The politics at the Mughal court. The weak administration and political rivalry between the then nobles in the Mughal court caused a constant power struggle between the factions of nobles, adversely affected the Mughal administrative system as it collapsed. The rise of the Maratha Empire. The Marathas were a dominant force who had the ability to establish and unite India because they were the only regional kingdom which were able to conquer Delhi from the Mughals, making them a puppet ruler. Shivaji was the person behind the formation of the great empire. His full name was Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He had continued power struggle with Aurangzeb the then Mughal emperor. Shivaji's grandson Shahu had been taken as a prisoner by Aurangzeb and released after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. Shahu succeeded the Maratha throne by the help of Balaji Vishwanath and appointed him as the Peshwa in 1714. Achievements by the Maratha Empire. The Maratha Empire between 1713 and 1720 had Balaji Vishwanath as the Peshwa. The Peshwa successfully conquered the territories of the Maratha Empire taken away by Aurangzeb. He also acquired the right to levy Chauth and Sardeshmukhi from the Deccan territories of the Mughals. He established hereditary Peshwa rule. Balaji Vishwanath was succeeded by Baji Rao first. He formed the confederacy of the Marathas, including the Sindhyas, the Holkars, the Bhosles, and the Gaikwads. Baji Rao succeeded Baji Rao first. He changed the capital of the empire from Satara to Pune. The Marathas reached as far as Bihar and Orissa in the east. Conclusion. After the collapse of the Mughal Empire, the Marathas and the other significant ones, such as the Sikhs and the Rajputs, had the potential and power to stand a united India. But all of them were overthrown by foreign invasions and internal conflicts. Like the Marathas were defeated by Ahmad Shah Abdali in the Third Battle of Panipat in 1761. The later Mughals were incompetent rulers, and some of them even controlled by the nobles. They lost their territories and the end of the Mughal Empire came near. Thank you all.